All right, welcome to the Collapse Experiment, where I guess I'm going to be pissing people off again. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. But a couple years ago, I bought a copy of The Last of Us, the first video game for PlayStation 3. That's how up to date I am on my video game systems, because that's the newest one that I have. I specifically bought the PlayStation 3 just so that I could play The Last of Us with my daughter when she got old enough. Then what? Last year, the year before, Last of Us 2 came out, and people were pretty pissed off. They were not happy. They were like, "What is why is everybody in this video game gay or bi or there's like a big question about like why are the characters this way? Doesn't make any sense, right? How does this play into the game? The first game, from my understanding, is amazing. I haven't even played it yet. I've gotten I think I've played it for like an hour or two, and that was about it so far. Daughter wasn't old enough, decided to just put it back on the shelf. Then the TV show comes out, and I was excited for this show. Granted, and probably to my better judgment, we got rid of HBO Max before it started. I figured when we get it again, because you can subscribe to these things at any time, I would just binge watch it. But from what I'm seeing, 2 out of the 6 episodes that have been released so far are surrounded by these characters that are the epitome of the title, come to find out, because of course they're The Last of Us. They can't make kids together. So of course, this all makes sense now. Has nothing to do with like a weird fungal zombie virus and the population goes down. Oh no. It's because apparently everybody who survived the apocalypse is gay, which doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. So there's the episode with Nick Offerman. Haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen it in clips on YouTube, but there was about 4 minutes of it that I thoroughly enjoyed. Kind of like, what was it? I Am Legend, where 2/3 of the movie is pretty darn good. And then it all goes downhill. So, what is it? Why does Hollywood, why does the video game industry decide to do this to really great content that they create? And then, due to some weird cultish obsession with things that they believe everybody else should believe, and we're going to just shove it down your freaking throats, regardless of whether you want it or not. It sounds like a shower scene to a weird prison show. Anyways, why do they do this? Like, do they just not enjoy making money? They're appealing to less than 10% of the population of the country. It just irritates the shit out of me. I don't even want to play the first Last of Us game anymore. I just don't have any interest because of like what they're doing with the show. Because the show is supposed to be based on what? The first game, right? So why are they adding all this garbage that doesn't pertain to the video game at all? That was a huge hit. Why would they do this? They did this previously too with a comic book I grew up thoroughly enjoying. I love it. I still read it today. The Watchmen. It's a classic. It's a literary classic. I don't even consider it a graphic novel. This is something else. And yet, HBO, again, takes this comic book and decides that they're going to be the ones who make a sequel to it. So, what do? Well, it just turns out to be a huge load of woke garbage. The first episode was terrible. Didn't make any freaking sense whatsoever. It didn't even like set the world. It didn't set the scene. It didn't explain anything. Gradually over time, you kind of figured some things out. But the weirdest part about the Watchmen series is that there was one good episode. If you stayed long enough to watch the entire thing, and unfortunately I did, only because my coworkers were watching it and I wanted to fit in and have something to talk about to these people that I had absolutely nothing in common with. But there was one good episode out of the entire thing. And it was the one episode that didn't have anything to do with the woke garbage bullshit that they were trying to shove down our throats. It concentrated and focused on one character. They actually developed a character. Holy crap. The other weird thing about the Watchmen series was that every episode was directed by a different director. Therefore, the scripts were different. It was a weird cluster mess of episodes for one series. And towards the end of it, you're like, how the hell did we get here? This doesn't make any sense. What happened to this person? What happened to this side storyline over here? Why does this not make any sense? They keep doing this. And they're doing it now with The Last of Us. And now the cast are complaining about the fans complaining. That's not how that works. Your industry is based on what the audience enjoys. And if you're not making a product that the audience enjoys, they're no longer going to purchase or watch said product. You can't force people to watch something you want them to watch. It's as simple as that. And with all the options available now online, when it comes to streaming media, when it comes to your basic television, cable TV, if you're dumb enough to still pay for that crap, the internet, you're now competing against a whole huge industry that didn't exist beforehand. And yet you think you can force people to watch your agenda. I really hope, considering that the whole series is already filmed, and now they're also mentioning that there's going to be like transgender characters in a show based on a video game that did not have transgender characters to begin with. And they're saying if they don't like it, they can watch something else. They're going to watch something else. Nobody is impressed with this at all. And it's quite sad. I really hated what they did with The Watchmen. I really did. I don't like what they're doing with The Last of Us. I'm really hoping that the sequel that they're putting out to I Am Legend, which isn't going to make a whole hell of a lot of sense because it's based on the alternate ending on the DVD, only available in the collector's edition. Like, what? What are they doing? Why are they doing this? Has Hollywood did Hollywood get a lobotomy recently that I don't know about? Do we need to bring Weinstein back? Like, what is going on? I have no idea. But apparently Hollywood, like, way too much cocaine back in the 80s, and now we're seeing the repercussions of that. I don't know. What is happening? So yeah, The Last of Us. Again, so far I've enjoyed roughly 4 minutes of it. And that was about it. And it's just all gone downhill since. What are your thoughts? Have you watched it? Have you enjoyed it? Granted, I will admit, I've only seen clips of, I think it was the second or third episode, the one with Nick Offerman. That's about it. That's all that because I was looking forward to just binge watching it. And then all of a sudden people are like sending me messages and they're like, dude, there's this guy in episode 3 and he's just like you, except gay. And I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. So I did, and I was like, well, this clip is pretty awesome. Like, this is legit. And then everything just went downhill after that, which is how it goes. It just seems to be how it goes these days. Doesn't make any sense. These people, they keep hiring bad writers, bad directors. As one person pointed out, I believe it was the drunk Scotsman guy, I can't think of it. Critical drinker. He was pointing out back in the 70s and 80s, directors had interesting stories. They lived interesting lives. A lot of them were Vietnam veterans, World War II veterans. They had seen some shit in their lives, right? They had all these life experiences. And now we're getting these directors that are handed jobs with large paychecks straight out of college because mommy and daddy are in the industry. They have zero life experience. They're into this woke cult bullshit. And they decide, yeah, I'm going to be a social justice warrior and make stuff that nobody's going to watch. And then I'm going to cry and scream at the audience as to why they don't enjoy my brilliant stuff. It's because the majority of people, they don't connect with it. It doesn't apply to them. They're not cross-dressing at night. They're not going out to a truck stop doing certain activities. This does not apply to mainstream America. So please stop trying to shove it down our throats like we're in a shower in a prison. Stop trying to be Bubba. I'll leave it with that. Don't be Bubba. Keep on typing.